with the shocking and sudden passing of former Secretary of State General Colin Powell. It's what believed to be his last interview. Powell opened up about his health challenges he'd been struggling with even before his COVID diagnosis.
Well, you see, I've got to go to the hospital about 2 or 3 times a week. I've got multiple myeloma cancer, and I've got Parkinson's disease, but otherwise I'm fine.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Don't say no, and don't feel sorry for me. For God's sakes, I'm 85 years old. Got to have something.
Well,
And I haven't lost a day of life fighting these 2 diseases. I'm in good shape.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, you've never lost a day of life. I mean, think of the activist general, former Secretary of State, now Oracle, right?
Yes.
Country is still reeling over the loss of the 4-star general. At 84 years old, he was among the most vulnerable to the pandemic. Powell had been vaccinated, but was also suffering from Parkinson's disease, as we just heard, and was also being treated for multiple myeloma. That's a cancer of the blood and bones. Both diseases weakened his immune system, which made him more susceptible to COVID-19.
Multiple myeloma is a disease that itself suppresses the immune system. But it's also important to understand that the treatment for multiple myeloma, which patients often take every day, itself can suppress the immune system. So General Powell represented our most vulnerable population in this country. He was over the age of 80. He had cancer, and the treatment for his cancer made him vulnerable.
Powell's death shines a light on the dangers the coronavirus can have for those with immunocompromised systems. Joining us now to talk more about that is Dr. Tuckson. He's the co-founder of the Black Coalition Against COVID. Dr. Tuckson, always a pleasure having you, sir. Sad day, even on the second day of the news of his passing. Now, we heard from that previous doctor who said he was being treated and that his cancer made him vulnerable. Can you tell us more about that?
So multiple myeloma is a disease that attacks a certain kind of cell in our body called plasma cells. These plasma cells are the very cells that make the ability for us to attack viruses when they come into our body. That's exactly what they do. They are the army that attacks the invader. He has a cancer of those. And that is why he is so vulnerable and was so vulnerable to the impact of COVID. He just was so immune compromised that his body could not mount the response, even with the vaccine. We know that only about 45% of people with his disease who were vaccinated would be protected fully from the virus. So this is known. And this is why the final analysis, the bottom line we have to learn, if we love Colin Powell and we care about him and his example and all others who are suffering from his disease, we have got to get this virus stamped out. We have to vaccinate ourselves to protect people like Colin Powell so that they who cannot fight for themselves, even sometimes when vaccinated, when they can't fight for themselves, we have to fight for them. We have to do our part for everybody.
All right, Dr. Tuckson, that actually brings me to my next question, which is regarding booster shots. It's reported that Colin Powell was supposed to receive his booster shot, but he fell ill. Would the booster shot have made any difference considering the other ailments he was dealing with?
It is very likely that it would. How much of a difference would it make? Of course, it would be impossible to officially give an opinion on. I don't know everything about his situation, but there is no question. That is why all of the review bodies now have essentially made the decision that people should get boosters if they are in special categories, over 65, living in very concentrated environments with others in group homes or prison environments. But also, they made a special emphasis on people who have immunocompromising diseases like Colin Powell had. So that is exactly why the recommendations are being made about the boosters.
Now, let's talk about why COVID and cancer is such a dangerous combination, especially now with so many people, tens of millions of Americans still eligible but unvaccinated.
Well, it really does tell us that if you are someone who is suffering from a cancer, which, as your previous filmed guest indicated, two very important points. Number one, the cancer itself can cause you to be immunocompromised, particularly in Colin Powell's case, because in fact the very agents that fight off infection were compromised in him. But secondly, because of the medicines that they take. And that the medicines that many people take for very important chronic illnesses can leave their immune system weak. So this is why this is a social and moral responsibility that all of us have. We have got to stamp out this pandemic. And the only way we can do it is to keep wearing our masks, social distance, and above all, get vaccinated. That's what we need to do to protect all the other, as you mentioned, thousands and thousands of people who are in the same situation as General Powell was.
And Dr. Tuckson, when you throw on all the other conditions that people of color are susceptible to, that we're more prone to, for instance, diabetes, heart disease, can you also talk about that other layer of danger that it presents?
I am so glad you raised this issue. This is so important. We as people of color know that we are living much more often with diseases like diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and lung disease, and also certain kinds of cancers. This is part of what we have to keep fighting for Black health over and over again. We were fighting for Black health before the pandemic. We have a lot on our plate now, and we have more on our plate when this pandemic is over as we go back and fight those things. But finally, you know that because of our predisposition to these other conditions, that is why we were dying so much more often, especially in the first wave of the pandemic, and why we are now. Our systems are too often compromised by the diseases that we are living with. Therefore, if you love Black people, if you care about Black people, do the right thing and stop spreading this disease to other Black people. If you love Black people, get vaccinated so that we can protect Black life.
You said it so passionately, Dr. Tuckson. Can you just talk about what the Black Coalition Against COVID is doing?
We're going to continue to reach out in every way. On November the 3rd, we're going to be doing a special national town hall with on children's vaccines, helping our families to make the decisions they need to make. We at the Black Coalition Against COVID understand people have questions. That is appropriate. Well, we have answers. The answers are not by Pookie on the internet, but by real doctors and real scientists who know the facts. And so we're going to continue to reach out in every way possible through our faith partnerships, our organized labor partnerships, small business, anywhere we can to reach Black people and have frank, honest, transparent conversations based on science and not what Pookie says on the internet.
Dr. Tuckson, I think the only thing Pookie on the internet can do for us is give us a hookup.
And let's make sure everything we do is safe.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for a laugh during such a serious conversation. Always a pleasure. Have a great day.